All right, so with all the talk about what's wrong with basketball, why the ratings are down, all that, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that we've had a pretty great start to this year. But today I want to talk about things we need to happen for it to be even better in 2025. Like, actually, you guys will get it as we go along. But before we do that, if you guys will be kind enough to subscribe, this is December 31st, posted a video every single day this month. I'm not saying I'm ever gonna be that consistent again, but I do plan on keeping the momentum going. So if you guys would be kind enough to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. But what do I mean by things we need in 2025? Simplest way I could put it, easiest way I could put it, let's say Kawhi Leonard, right? The NBA is fine without Kawhi, the playoffs will be fine without Kawhi. But if Kawhi comes back and we have another real threat in the West, and the Clippers would be a real threat if Kawhi comes back, and we get a Clippers Rockets in the first round, or you know what, we get a rematch again of Clippers Mavericks, or the best possible outcome, he comes back and it's a 4-5 Lakers Clippers first round series. The theater of that will be amazing. I don't think we view Kawhi as like a box office guy, like must watch TV. But people know who Kawhi is. I don't think people want to see Kawhi coming. So that would just be amazing for basketball, for the, story of the year if James Harden is able to keep this team afloat until Kawhi comes back. Unfortunately, even if Kawhi does come back, I'm not expecting, normal playoff Kawhi. But to me, that's one thing that could take the theater and drama of the season to a whole nother level if Kawhi comes back. And while we're speaking about Kawhi, we might as well speak on Paul George. The Philadelphia 76ers, at the time of this recording, now stand at 13-17, 3 games back behind the 6th seed Milwaukee Bucks. And considering all their injuries, they're kind of fortunate to be where they are. But also, Paul George has been terrible this year. And if Paul George can wake up a little bit, that changes the whole dynamic of the conference. And I know a lot of people don't like Paul George. A lot of people believe he's overrated. I'm not expecting him to turn back the clock, right? But Paul George is very low-key one of the greatest shooters of his generation. I was gonna say all time, but let's say of his generation. Since he came back from that devastating injury, which was 10 years ago at this point, he's shooting 39% from 3 on nearly 8 attempts per game. So I'm not expecting, defensive stopper Paul George. I'm not expecting the elite attacking Paul George, but I am expecting him to be a great shooter. I don't believe that just went away, but he's doing other things, right? He's a secondary playmaker. He's boarding a little bit. He's getting a ton of steals. But if Paul George can heat up like the shooter we know he is, obviously this Sixers team becomes a lot more dangerous. Again, defensively, I'm not sure. Like, I know the steals are there, but I'm not sure I want Paul George guarding a Jaylen Brown or a Jason Tatum. I don't think he can guard a Donovan Mitchell at this point in his career. So I'm not expecting that. I'm just expecting him to be a great shooter. And if he is that opens up so much for this team. So Paul George, can he get a shot back? Speaking of getting your shot back, can Trae Young get hot from 3? Now, he's always been streaky, and it's not just the 3 this year, right? The mid-range is down too, significantly. So maybe I shouldn't even say the 3-pointer, right? Because he's shooting career lows in mid-range, having one of his worst years in floating range, but he's still playing amazing basketball, and I still believe in this team. But if they're gonna do anything significant in the playoffs, he's still gonna have to hit shots. Even with an 18-15 record, they still have a negative net rating. Where they've been able to win these games is getting more possessions. They are second in the NBA in possessions because they're a good offensive rebounding team, and they force a ton of steals and they get a ton of blocks. Second in the NBA in steals and 10th in the NBA in blocks. They are third in the NBA in fast break points, but when we get to the half court, they're still gonna need Trae Young to hit shots. And if he is, this team could be dangerous. I don't want to say they could beat such and such, but we've seen it. This team could beat anybody if Trae Young is on, when you have 2 guys coming off the bench that can go for 30 in Bogdanovich and Hunter, and the defense he has around him. I really like this team a lot, but Trae Young would have to perform at a level that we've seen him get to at times, but can he maintain that in a playoff run? All right, now going back out west, the team that is surprising a lot of people. I think a lot of people also seen this coming, but the San Antonio Spurs. I want them to make a move, not a big move. I'm not saying mortgage the future. I'm not saying that at all, but a simple move to get more offensive talent on this team, to get more creation on this team, because why not? I truly believe they just need a little bit more shot creation to be a dangerous playoff team. Right now, they might scare somebody, but I don't think they have enough to beat some of these upper echelon teams. If they have one more guy that can dribble, pass, and shoot, to me that does a lot when you already have the centerpiece in Wemby. And the only reason I'm really saying it as a possibility is because if you look at this team, you wouldn't have to give up Vassell, you wouldn't have to give up Castle. Is it not worth it to give up Zach Collins in a couple seconds for a guy that can help you this year? Go get a Jordan Clarkson, because why not? You know, I'm not saying you're gonna win it all this year, but why not have fun? You're not mortgaging anything really. Zach Collins is not a part of your future. Like, just go do something like that. Or even like on a very much smaller scale. Alec Burks, just go get Alec Burks chilling on the bench in Miami. They just need one more guy like that, and I believe they could be a real threat. And speaking of #1 overall picks, we need Paolo Banchero to come back and not look hampered by the injury at all. Him and Franz, this team keeps winning games in the Eastern Conference that I believe is a lot more wide open than people are making it out to be. I understand what Cleveland is doing, and we still got to see that in the playoffs. But those two guys and the way Franz was playing without Paolo, if he can come back with that same confidence and aggression, and Jalen Suggs can keep this aggression he's playing with right now, they are a matchup nightmare. They would just need one more guy to get hot from three for them to be, you know, truly, truly scary. But that can happen. So Franz, Paolo come back, keep playing that aggressive for Franz. And again, another team in the East that we're kind of sleeping on the East, in my opinion. Like I just told you guys, I really believe in the Hawks. The Pacers are turning it around a little bit. Obviously, Milwaukee's turning it around. The 76ers are trying to turn it around. Like, we got at least 7 pretty good teams in the East that, you know, we talk about the East like it's trash. I think we're going to get some major upsets out East. I really do, and I think it's more likely out East than out West. That was all I had. I guess we can throw in like Chris Middleton returning to form, but if you guys didn't notice the theme of the teams I went with, it's like teams that are right there that could become a factor in a couple months. Right now, people are watching the Hawks, but they're not taking them serious. Let Trae Young go on the heater for a couple weeks. All of a sudden, it's going to be, man, do you want to play that team in the first round? Right now, people are looking at the Clippers like a cute story, right? And they're laughing at the idea of Kawhi coming back and being Kawhi. But let Kawhi come back and look amazing. People don't want to see that team. Everyone is talking about Wemby as the future, but let the Spurs make a small move to get him more help this year. People are going to be terrified of Wemby. And I guess I could have thrown in like the Rockets as well. Like, people aren't really taking them serious. But that's a team where I don't want them to make a move, right? I don't want them to go get whoever it might be. I just want the Rockets to chill out, build with this team, at least for this year. At the same time, though, no one's really taking them serious as a contender. If they did make a move and got Zach LaVine or Brandon Ingram while keeping them in Thompson, Tari Eason, Şengün, all of a sudden, yeah, you got to take them a little bit more seriously. But if I was running the Rockets, I would be in no rush. But that's where we're going to leave the video. Again, if you guys would be kind enough to subscribe, 31 days, 31 videos. Who knows, maybe we can make it like an annual December thing. Actually, don't a lot of people do that for Christmas? Because supposedly the ad revenue was supposed to be crazy in the month of December. I didn't really see that, you know, not to let you guys know into my side of it, but I didn't really see that. It was a normal ad revenue month for me, nothing crazy. I just wanted to challenge myself and see if I could post 31 straight days, and we accomplished that. If you're watching this video, we accomplished that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm out. Peace. Oh, and Happy New Year's.